Well, when was the last time you saw circular headlamps on a car? When was the last time you saw a different and separately mounted indicator like this? When was the last time you saw hinges exposed like this on a car? I don't really remember, but that's the beauty and that's the iconic design of this G-Wagon. Yes, this has been around for the last 50 years with the same silhouette, with the same design, square, boxy, circular, but it is so loved by individuals, it's so loved by SUV lovers that Mercedes doesn't want to mess with the tried and tested formula, and they keep repeating the same design with new updates in terms of the engine, in terms of the chassis, in terms of the overall interiors. And this new update really is something which mixes old school charm, old school looks, as well as new age technology, features, comfort, as well as luxury. Welcome to Time Drive English. Today we've got the Mercedes G-Wagon in its diesel version, and we'll drive this car around and tell you what makes it so special, sit inside it and give you all the lowdown about this car and why it retails for 2.5 crores ex-showroom. Well, so let's start talking about the looks of this car from the back. Yes, let's start with the back. You get this huge tire mounted to the rear door of the car, and this is of course the exact tire which is also mounted on the car, so there's no space saver. 275 by R19 tires. You also get this step which is genuinely usable. 100 kilos, if you are about 100 kilos, something like that, you can easily go up, and once you step up, you can of course enjoy the view from that platform on the top of this car. If you move onto the side, well, if you see the design of the lamps, it's a nice and rectangular shape, even though they have LEDs, but the design is true to the original. Reflectors at the bottom, and nothing apart from that which is too fancy. If you go onto the side and move onto the side with me, you'll see that it's a very square and boxy design and very flat all across. There aren't any cuts and creases on any part of this car, so it's true to the original. It's true to the original which was made in the 1970s, and actually you can design a car like this with your own ruler. It's that simple. The special design elements are the door hinges which are exposed, and also the opening, the handle is very different. You have to hold this and press this button here, and then the door opens up. So very unique, but also there are modern touches, like you get LEDs over here in the side view mirror for the indicator, and of course big and chunky, as I said, 19-inch wheels. And of course we already showed you the face so many times, you've already seen it. There isn't too much to talk about it apart from the fact that you get projector in those circular lamps, and you also get LEDs over here for the indicator stalks. Anyways, time now to jump inside and tell you about the speciality, the luxury and the features of the interiors of this car. Well, so now I'm in the cabin of the G-Wagon, and when you step inside this car, you will think that you're sitting in a car which is probably running on stilts. Yes, so this car really is that high. In fact, you feel like you're sitting on the first floor of a house or of an apartment, because even the cars we consider tall and high set, like the Innova, like the Mahindra Thar, even those drivers and those passengers seem half a story or half a step below you. So you really feel like the big boss on the road, and really do feel like the king of the road, because everybody moves out of the way when they see this car in the mirrors. What's also nice is the visibility. The entire bonnet line is visible. The mirrors are quite chunky, so you get a good view of the rear, and also the indicators and stuff like that is visible over here. So that also gives you great confidence when you drive this car. The pillars also over here aren't the chunkiest, so you can easily look around them. There aren't any blind spots, so to say. This car comes loaded with tech and features, but two of them are which really are my favorite. One, of course, is the Burmester sound system. It really offers you brilliant sound quality, absolutely brilliant sound quality. The treble, the bass, the mid-range, all the instrumentation, everything is separated very clearly, and really it's a very good system if you love concert. And in the seat massage function, you also get a system which is called active, where the bolsters on this car activate, and if you push this car into corners, then the bolsters will hug you and they will move around and give you a tighter grip. So that's something great for people who drive a lot in the hills, or if you ask someone who takes this car to the racetrack, then this is a feature you'll really appreciate. So I really like these two features. Apart from this, of course, you get two brilliant digital gauges over here. This one, of course, is the instrumentation, and this one is for the infotainment. And over here you can control all the car's functions, like lights, the stereo, the AC, even the dynamic control via this menu. And really, Mercedes makes the best infotainment as well as digital gauges. No two ways about it. They offer you very good clarity, very easy usage, and of course very good visibility even when the sun is really harsh. So these are things which are very positive about this car. Apart from that, of course, you get this aircraft like AC vents, and three different differential locks. Yes, you get one for the front axle, one for the rear axle, one for the mid axle. So all of them have their own locks, and of course brilliant quality for all the controls over here. There's a small watch as well. It's a completely analog watch, so it gives you that old school charm. And of course AC controls over here, they really are made from the finest materials. Lots of controls over here. This of course is for dynamics, this is for the volume, and of course other controls for the low range ESP, as well as this little control over here for the infotainment system. Steering wheel is really nice to grip, even though it has this touch control over here, which I don't really like, but even then it's a nice steering wheel to grip. Paddle shifters behind the wheel, and the seat comfort themselves are generally very good. The only negative is that this little thing here is in red. Yes, why is the seat belt in red? I don't know, because this isn't an AMG. The tan and the grey work really well, but this one is a bit of a miss. Overall though, I'll give it a good score of 9 out of 10. It really feels like a macho old school SUV with a lot of modern tech inside. Now let's have in the back seat and see how good that really is. Well, so I'm in the back seat now of the G-Wagon, and if you're someone who's buying this car just for the back seat, then I'm afraid you will have to buy either the GLS or maybe some other car in this segment, because the back seat legroom is decent. It's about decent, but nothing too great. Headroom is quite sufficient, even if you're about 6 feet or maybe 6'1", 6'2". The headroom is generally good. The front seat has been raised up, so you can stretch your feet over there. The window here is nice and large, but the window pane or the glass doesn't actually go down completely, so it goes till this way. So if you're planning to go up the hills, then you have to look around like this, and you can't really do this and sit here and enjoy those views completely. There's a air vent over here. The AC vents are here as well as over here, so you get a good throw of air, and very strong throw actually. And of course you get your own climate control zone. The very unique thing about this car is of course the fact that you get a cigarette lighter, which is something which you don't see, and you also get an ashtray, which is again something which you don't see on modern cars. And of course a USB charging point is also given. You also get your own pockets over here where you can keep a magazine. This of course is the Mercedes in-house magazine, and you can keep it and read it for long distance journeys. And you also get an armrest which has a bottle holder as well as a cup holder. But honestly, as I said, if you're in this car, you'll prefer to be in the front seat, because at the back there isn't too much space. So this is ideal for small children who are about 8 or 9 years old, 10 years old, or maybe for short journeys where you go and stop in every 2 hours or something like that. Overall, I'll still give it a respectable score of 8 out of 10, because the ambience, the quality, as well as the luxury quotient is quite good. Now, you don't get a completely big panoramic sunroof, which you do get on a lot of modern day cars, because this car also has been given that roof mounted luggage carrier, which makes it a proper lifestyle vehicle. Well, now quickly let's show you the boot of this car. Now the first thing you notice is that there is a ladder here, and it's an actually working ladder. It's not just there for show, and it can take a maximum 100 kgs. So I think I should climb up, because I'm a little less than 100 kg right now. Maybe I should watch out my weight and go to the gym. Now the first thing you notice is that there's a huge spare wheel which is mounted over here. It's a 275 section 19-inch rim on which this wheel is mounted, so it really is massive in terms of the overall shape and size. But the positive is that it does complete the look of this car, and it's not a space saver, so it's a proper spare wheel. It does add to the weight of the door over here, so you will need a bit of an effort to open it up. Even though it has hydraulic mounts and all, you still need a bit of an effort. Once you open it up, you can see a very wide and large loading area. The rear seats also split 60-40, and you really get a massive loading area, soft carpeting all across, absolutely minimal intrusion from the boot sill. There's no sill actually, so no intrusion at all. And you can really, even the biggest of big bags, you can take them all the way up to the roof and really mount it up with your entire camping luggage. If you're planning to go for maybe a weekend getaway, everything can easily be accommodated inside this car. So it's a mix of posh, luxury, old school charm, and really a very unique product in its own right. Now let me close the boot and jump on top and show you some Instagram reels and shoot some shorts. If you do follow us on Instagram, then please do like us over there, and also like this car's video at the bottom. And of course, if you don't follow us on Facebook, Instagram, as well as X, then please do subscribe and follow us on all those platforms as well. Now let's jump inside the car and take it for a drive. Well, so here I am driving the Mercedes G-Wagon now. Now this is the diesel version of the car that I'm driving at the moment, and I have to say that it really is a fantastic car to drive. Now when you have a diesel on an SUV, it really does augment the overall personality, the character, because diesels really suit the personality of SUVs, and more so with the G-Wagon, because they have such a strong wave of torque which comes in 700 Newton meters of torque, and all of that is distributed via a 9-speed automatic gearbox. Yes, it's not a 6-speed or 7-speed, it's a 9-speed automatic gearbox. So it really is fantastic. It works really well, and having 8th and 9th gears means that when you're on the highway, the flexibility of the diesel engine is greatly enhanced. Already, it doesn't seem like you're driving a diesel engine, but when you have 9 gears to work with, then it makes it even a more silent and a more smooth cabin than it is in terms of noise and vibrations. Nothing really enters the cabin. There's hardly any vibration which enters the cabin, so it really is fantastic. And what's also fantastic is the turning radius of this car. I'll explain that to you by, showing you a turning radius over here, turning this car, making a U-turn. Now, if you move around like this, and you'll see immediately that the turning radius really is very short. It's a very regular car in terms of turning radius, and also this seat is a dynamic seat, which means that the bolster on this side, if you turn it on the right, the left bolster, it hugs you, it becomes tighter, and if you move it on the left and the right bolster, it comes around and it feels like somebody sitting behind you and he's holding you in your position, he's holding you into grip so that you don't move around, and that's something which is very thoughtful. These are the small details, small things which make a big difference inside this car, and that is something which you'll really appreciate when you drive it and take it out for a spin. These are things which really make a big difference inside the Mercedes G-Wagon. What also makes a difference is the fact that the controls are very light, especially the steering wheel. It really is a very light steering wheel, so that's something that you'll really appreciate, especially if you drive yourself. A lot of people think that these cars are heavy and bulky in terms of their weight, and they're right, they are bulky and heavy, but they're pretty easy to drive because the steering wheel is light. The overall visibility really is excellent all across. The front visibility really is very good. Side mirrors are nice and chunky. Yes, this one over here is big, but you get that view of the tire at the back mounted on the wheel, so you get a good view overall, and you also get lane keep assist as well as blind spot assist and stuff like that. So lots of stuff to talk about, and really it's a fantastic car in that department. The ride comfort is generally very good because it's a car which offers you a very soft ride, which means that in the city it offers you a very cozy and cushioning ride. And the highway also, it feels stable. The steering wheel also adds up weight as speeds increase. So these are things which make a big difference on the Mercedes G-Wagon, and these are things which really a lot of customers will really appreciate about this car as well. Now, what is there not to like? Well, I really can't think of any negative issues because the diesel engine is quiet, you have a 9-speed automatic gearbox, the controls are light, the visibility is quite good, the ride comfort is very good as well. So really, I don't think that there is any major issue with which you can say that I don't like this car. It really is all good, and I'll give the driving department of this car a very good score of 92 out of 100. Now let me stop the car and give you a definitive summary report. Well, so when you're talking about the Mercedes G-Wagon, you're not talking about making a rational decision. You're talking about making an emotional connect, an emotional decision, and you're buying a car which is not only iconic, but also one of the best in terms of off-roading, one of the best in terms of luxury, one of the best in terms of the features as well as the safety, and of course the swag factor for which 95% of SUV buyers buy their cars. So if you have this kind of money lying around, then definitely walk into a Mercedes dealership and check out the new Mercedes G-Wagon. I'm sure that you will not regret buying one. It really is an icon. It really is a car which is an emotional SUV, and for that reason alone, you should go ahead and buy one. I'll give it a strong score of 92 out of 100.
World's first CNG motorcycle has been introduced by Bajaj. And when I say CNG motorcycle, some of the initial negative thoughts that comes to one's minds are limited refueling infrastructure, frequent refueling, or even safety concerns. Well, these are the 3 factors I'm going to address in today's video in regard to Bajaj Freedom 125. Hi, you're watching Times Drive English. It's me, Pavni Jain, and here we go. The safety concern. Well, it will be obvious for a prospective buyer to think about the safety if he or she wants to buy the Bajaj Freedom 125, because it's something that is there in the market for the very first time. So nobody knows how it's going to perform. Well, that's a different thing, but in terms of safety, I can tell you a few factors that you need to know. Number one, that the company has actually developed this product after 3 whole years. They have taken a good amount of time in its R&D. Number 2, the company claims that it has performed 11 safety tests on this motorcycle before launching the vehicle. Number 3, there is also protective cage around the CNG tank, and the company has also developed a robust trellis frame around it, which actually adds to its safety and also to its looks and appearance. And coming back to the 11 safety tests, this is what I'm going to talk about in today's video in detail, because you need to know if the motorcycle is actually safe or not and what all tests this motorcycle has been through. First, have a look at the list of these 11 safety tests. Number 1, CNG valve impact test. Number 2, frontal pendulum test. Number 3, rear impact test. Number 4, side impact test. Number 5, front collision test. Number 6, side impact test. Number 7, vertical drop test. Number 8, truck runover test. Number 9, IS 3224-2002 CNG valve impact test. Number 10, AIS 028 50 kg filling unit strength test. Number 11, AIS 028 20G pull-out test. Now, like I said, let's get into the details of some of these tests. Front collision test. Well, the motorcycle has been tested against 1.5 ton of weight. The relative speed of the motorcycle is 60 km per hour. Now, the result that is shown in the video and claimed by the company is that the CNG tank remains intact, the tank position remains unchanged, and also the pressure remains unchanged with no CNG leakage as seen in the video. Next is truck runover test. In this test, a truck weighing 10 tons was driven over a vehicle equipped with a CNG cylinder. Well, the CNG tank withstood the immense pressure and force without sustaining any damage. The tank's position again remained unchanged throughout the test, and there was no alteration in its pressure levels. It also demonstrates that there was no CNG leakage. Next is IS 3224-2002 CNG valve impact test. What does this mean? IS 3224 is carried out for valve fittings for compressed gas cylinders. This excludes LPG cylinders. Represents the valve is designed to operate under the extreme conditions of environment, which could cause a pressure rise in the cylinder contents up to maximum developed pressure. This is as per the Bureau of Indian Standards, the national standards body of India. The last two tests are AIS 028 50 kg filling unit strength test and also 20G pull-out test. For both the tests, number 028 represents the code of practice for use of gaseous fuels in IC engine vehicles. This is as per the Automotive Industry Standards, an organization that runs under the central government. Now, the result of all these 11 safety tests underscores the durability and the safety of the CNG tank even under extreme conditions. Limited refueling infrastructure. Well, I will not lie to you guys, but whenever you are investing in a CNG vehicle, be it a 4-wheeler or 2-wheeler, you have to prepare yourself mentally that yes, you will be standing in long queues and waiting for your turn to come. You will have to consider this factor. Although when I was at the launch event of Bajaj Freedom 125, the spokespersons did mention that the CNG network in India is growing further and faster. Frequent refueling. Well, with this motorcycle in particular, you do not have to worry about it at all, because this motorcycle comes with 2 kg of CNG cylinder, which can drive up to 102 km per kg. And you also get a 2 liter of petrol tank, which can drive up to 65 kilometers per liter. So overall, the range that this motorcycle can give you would be around 330 kilometers in total. If you want to know anything else about this motorcycle, then you can actually head over to our YouTube channel, where I have done a brief walk around of this newly launched Bajaj Freedom 125.
Today we have with us is the recon version of Ultraviolette's F77 Mach 2. So how does it perform? What all features are there, and how's the ride quality of this F77 Mach 2? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to Times Drive English. I'm Ankur Taneja. Let's start the review of Ultraviolette F77 Mach 2. So first, let's quickly go through the design and feature changes that are there in the Mark II version of this F77. The design is same as F77. There are no changes in terms of overall design from front, from side and from the rear as well. There is no change in terms of design. But what has changed mainly in terms of hardware, this flap which is now in metal and previously it was in plastic, and this does look sturdy than before. So this is one of the change. But apart from this, there are features that Ultraviolette has added in this Mark II version. So one of the main features that is there in this Mark II version is the 10 level region braking for this motorcycle, and the 10 level option is only available in the Recon version, not in the base Mark II version. And you get the 3 level settings in the base version, but if you want to opt for the 10 level setting, you might have to pay some price for it. But in the Recon version, you get the 10 level regeneration setting. And there is one more addition in terms of safety feature, which is the traction control. There are 4 levels of settings in traction control as well. You can turn it off, you can switch to T1, which is basically for sport, and you can switch to T2, which is for street mode, and T3, which you can use for the rainy condition. And the traction control will be highly intrusive in that level, the T3 level. In terms of design, the bikes look same as before, but the overall quality, fit and finish of bike is really good. And one USP that this bike has, although there is no competition, but still you won't be able to find out any exposed bolt in this bike. So this does make this bike look really good in terms of fit and finish. And apart from that, you get the front USD forks and the F77 branding. You get the same size alloy wheels and the disc braking. You get the dual channel ABS option, and there's some graphics and the color combination. There are 9 color options in the F77 Mark II version. And in the rear, you get the monoshock of this Ultraviolette F77 Mark II version. You get the full LED setup in the tail lights, indicators, and as well as in the headlights of this F77 Mark II. So there are 2 variant options in the Mark II. One is the base variant Mark II, then another is Mark II Recon version, which we have with us today. So the major changes that are there in both the variants are in terms of range, battery pack, and of course in terms of price, and there's a slight change in terms of power as well. So the base variant that is there comes with a battery pack of 7.1 kilowatt hour, and the Recon version comes with a battery pack of 10 kilowatt hour. And claimed range for the base variant is around 211 kilometers, and for the Recon version is around 323 kilometers. You get slightly extra power and torque in the Recon version, and there is price difference of 1 lakh in between both these variants. So now this is what Ultraviolette is offering in terms of design and new features in the Mark II version. Now how does this bike perform? Because Ultraviolette is claiming that this bike can achieve 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. So how's the ride quality and how does this F77 Mark II performs in the real world conditions? Let's now talk about that. Let's delve into the performance and features of Mark II version of the Ultraviolette F77 and assess whether it can truly enhance your riding experience. First, let us examine the specifications of both variants of the Mark II. The primary differences between the variants lie in the battery pack, range, and a couple of additional features. When it comes to performance, the Mark II impresses and is capable of putting a smile on any rider's face. It delivers ample power and a substantial amount of torque, ensuring an exhilarating riding experience. The riding posture is designed to be comfortable for long journeys, but it can become tiring in city traffic due to bike's weight of around 207 kg. Maneuvering the bike in urban conditions can be exhausting for many riders. However, this weight contributes to its stability and performance on the highway. In terms of features, the Mark II offers practical additions such as hill hold and a 10-level regenerative braking system. Both features function seamlessly with the various region modes, helping riders avoid constant braking in certain conditions. My experience with the different region level confirms that they work effectively. On the hardware front, the suspension setup is well tuned for both city and highway riding. The combination of seats and suspension provides a comfortable ride. The bike is equipped with dual channel ABS and the brakes offer excellent stopping power, ensuring safety even at high speeds. Ultraviolette claims a range of around 323 km for Mark II. However, in real world conditions, the bike typically delivers a range of around 250 km in glide mode. This range can vary depending on individual riding styles. If you are a rider who frequently pushes the bike to its limits, you might experience some range anxiety. Nevertheless, the range largely depends on how you ride it. So what are the things that I liked about this F77 Mark II and what are the things that I didn't like? So the things that I didn't like, and the number one is the weight of this bike. The base version weighs around 197 kg, the curb weight is around 197 kg, and Recon version weighs 10 kg more than that, around 207 kg. And I believe that can be one of the negatives for the people who might be considering to buy this F77 Mark II. Then the second element that I didn't like about the bike is the price. The base version costs around 3 lakh ex-showroom and this Recon version costs around 4 lakh ex-showroom, and this price is only for the first 1,000 customers, and you need to have deep pockets to afford this motorcycle. Now the things that I liked about this F77 Mark II, and the number one thing in that list is the overall design and fit and finish of this bike, and I believe Ultraviolette has done really good work in this department. The second element that I really liked about the bike is the 10-level region option that is there, which really comes handy especially in city conditions. And the third element which I liked about the bike is the overall performance, and especially in the ballistic mode, it is going to surprise you. So if you are in the market for an electric bike that delivers good performance, stylish looks, sporty characteristics, a wealth of features and a decent range, the F77 Mark II is an excellent choice. It combines power, comfort and innovative features to provide a thrilling and enjoyable riding experience.